Well, we love our trees in Nashville, and we especially love big trees and interesting trees. And so I'm here today with Vicki Turner with the Nashville Tree Foundation to talk about this great new contest. Now, for almost 30 years, they've had the Big Old Tree Contest, but what have we added this year, Vicki?
Well, our executive director, Becca Morris, added 2 new categories. One is a story tree and the other is unique trees. And this would be a unique tree. I discovered it when I came to the opening celebration of the pollinator garden here at Portland Pollinator Patch Park. That's a lot of P's.
Well, let's get over here and look at this tree and talk about some of its wonderful features.
Okay, I came to witness the pollinator garden, but how could I not notice this very, very unusual silver maple? It's totally hollow, and it has an intricate sort of tessellated design, but it's also perfectly healthy.
Absolutely, and I think sometimes we worry about trees when they start to hollow out, but this is a great example of the tenacity of this tree and the way it's causing all kinds of great habitat to form.
Yes, absolutely. All the nutrition for the tree travels up and down this area, so really the core of the tree is surplus. I mean, it can be surplus, as demonstrated by this beautiful silver maple.
Well, it's so much fun when trees hollow out and you never know what you'll find in there.
Yeah, this is a tree that if you could get inside, you could say, I've hugged many a tree in my life, but I've never had one hug me back.
Well, Vicki, I understand that if we want to take a hike, there is a really fantastic tree.
Well, that's true. Ranger Jason Allen nominated a willow at Long Hunter State Park. And this willow is right on the edge of the lake. And the limb makes a W, which of course stands for willow. So all I can imagine, and I have seen this tree, is that the limb was somewhat bent down and then naturally sprouted up and then bent down again and still sprouting up, and now it's going out. So it makes a perfect W, which is highly appropriate for a willow tree.
Oh, and it sounds like a fun tree to climb on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But a little hard to get to.
All right, well, next time we're out in the park, we'll have to go hike for it.
Sounds good.
Vicki, this is one of my favorite, most fun trees, and I understand that you nominated it.
I did, Julie. I was actually on my way to nominate a catalpa at the apartment complex next door, and I parked over here, and I was taking a shortcut, and this Osage orange tree couldn't be missed.
Well, I love this type of tree. I love it for its monkey brains, hedge apples, mock oranges, whatever you want to call them. I think they're fantastic. Not everybody does, but I love them. And the form of this tree is just so graceful and inviting.
It is, and it almost looks like it's taking a nap to me. A long, 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 long nap.
Well, the history of this property having been a school, so I could certainly see kids hanging out in this tree, sitting there and reading books, maybe falling asleep on it, climbing on it.
Yes, actually this is a tree I could climb.
Well, of course, the most recognizable characteristic of this tree is the big balls that it drops. But also tell us some of these other things we see here.
There are very few trees I can identify from bark alone. I'm very dependent on leaves, but this bark has a very distinctive orange color to it. And I have also been told by the man that does my chainsaw work in the country that this is the densest wood of all. And when he gets a work order to cut down an Osage orange tree, he brings 3 chainsaws. It's that hard on the chain.
Okay, this is both a big tree and a unique tree.
Yes, indeed. I was literally looking for a pretty spot to have a sandwich and saw this enormous Chinken Oak, which of course I had to nominate for a big tree. And while I was nominating it, the owner, Mike Luckett, came out and helped me hold the measuring tape because it was so big. It took 2 people to measure it. And he went on to tell me that the entire top of this tree was taken out by a storm, probably that terrible tornado we had in the late 90s. And after he bought the house, he had an arborist come out to check the health of this tree. It turns out this tree is completely hollow. And it's in fine health. And then Mike also told me that there's a family of owls that live in the hollow cavity. So really this tree qualifies for a story tree, a unique tree, and a big old tree.
Oh my gosh, how fantastic. I just love the shape of it. I love everything about it. Now, one thing I always find very interesting is that you have what you expect as an oak leaf and what we all recognize, and then you have the Chinken Oak leaf.
Correct.
So that people don't get fooled and can identify it right away.
Well done.
Once you see it, you know it.
That's right.
Found.
That's right.
Now, one of the neat things about keeping these trees in that story about it being hollow is that so many people are fearful of trees when they do start to hollow out. And certainly you want to make sure it's not a danger, but the habitat benefit of a tree that's hollowing is amazing.
Absolutely. Well put.
Now let's talk just a little bit about how everybody can participate in this. So I'm out walking along and I see a big old tree or I see a unique tree. What do I do next besides just text you real fast?
You can go to the Nashville Tree Foundation website, and we have a category for the Big Old Tree Contest, and there is an application. You can either print it and mail it in, or you can fill it out online. All you have to really do is give the owner's name and the location. You don't even have to identify it if you're not sure. You don't have to measure it. That's what our people come in and do. In fact, even if you do identify it and you do measure it, we're going to send our people to make sure you're right. And so we'll end up with a bunch of nominations, and then each tree just competes within its own species. So this tree only competed against Chinken oaks. Silver maples just compete against silver maples. Except, of course, this year we have the 2 new categories, story tree and unique tree, and so you can have overlap.
Fantastic. And what time of year do we really need to start getting our applications together?
Okay, the applications were due in, I think, the end of October, and I think we give you like 3 months leeway, but really you can send your application in any time of the year. We're not going to throw it away.
This is fantastic. You know, I've long been enamored of the really big trees, and I always remember as a kid growing up and seeing those really interesting trees, and so I'm so happy that they have their own category and can compete. And I think we all need to go out and look for those unique trees and to find those trees that have a story.
I love it.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.